Ho ho ho, ladies and gentlemen. As we approach the end of the year and are fully engulfed in the spirit and joy of the holidays, I thought it would be a fun idea to go back and forth and hand out the label of naughty or nice to a handful of players I don't think are getting enough attention. And that could be a lack of praise or a lack of shame and public ridicule. Wasting absolutely zero time, we're going to get right into the first name on my nice list. I don't have a ton of players written down for this video, but I will bounce back and forth, so there's a good balance between love and hate. The first name on my nice list is Pat Spencer, the Spensation as I'm trying to coin. What a fun revelation he's been for a Warriors team so desperate for not just some offensive pop, but also a guy that can run pick and roll and not just score off of someone else. But maybe his best attribute is just his competitive edge. The dude's a pit bull, it's hard not to get fired up when watching, and it's something this Warriors team desperately needs on nights where their age or lack of belief in their own offense is showing. Free my guy Steph, man. Now, unfortunately, there is a negative side to this video, folks, and we've got to talk about the naughty ones. The first name on my naughty list is Ja Morant. I wrote a lengthy article about the trials and tribulations of Ja Morant last month, so this isn't an attempt to beat a dead horse, but that article came out just as Ja got hurt again. Most recently, he's been dealing with an ankle problem that's kept him out of the lineup. And lo and behold, the Grizzlies are 7-2 in their last 10 games. They're 7th in defense and 11th in offense over that stretch, and they're starting to factor into the Western Conference playoff picture again. I'm not trying to rag on Ja too hard, and I'm not even saying it's all him, but his fit with the Grizzlies really feels like it's run its course. Unless they were to blow the whole team up and retool around him, that is, and I'm not sure why you would do that. The next name on my nice list is Jaden McDaniels. Already one of the league's premier defensive specialists, McDaniels has gone through a major improvement since last season. The main leap that's immediately apparent is his shooting. Someone who was around 33 to 36% now is consistently hitting over 40% of his threes, and it's made him even better at attacking the basket because defenders can't sag off of him as much. It also just increases his overall playmaking abilities, being able to leverage the threat of a jumper. Shout out to J-Mac. I've fluctuated on the Wolves a lot this season, but I might view them as the third best team in the West on a good day. McDaniels' improvement is a big part in believing that they have enough offense to deal with a team like Houston, who I previously had above them, but am now leaning Minnesota's way. They're definitely not as good defensively. In fact, when Rudy Gobert is off the floor, they have like a 123 defense, but a 108 when he's on. Honestly, he should probably be the one I'm giving most credit to. F it. It's the holidays. Rudy, I'm calling an audible and adding you to the list. Tell Santa I'll deal with the paperwork later. But I am shouting out McDaniels for genuinely expanding his game rather than Gobert, who's just, massively holding down one entire side of the ball for his team. Story of his career, really. Next up on my naughty list is Jared McCain. I made a decision not to include rookies on my list, certainly not my naughty list, and I deliberated on second-year players as well, especially with guards like McCain, who typically take longer to adjust to the NBA. So I want to make it clear, I'm not out on McCain. I think he'll be fine in the long run, but there is a canyon-sized gap between the player he was to start his career and who he's been this season. He has been dealing with a torn UCL in his thumb since before the start of the season, but he's been playing consistently for a while now, and even understanding this team is a bit better and there's a VJ Edgecombe to compete with for guard minutes, to go from 15 points a game on high 30s from 3 to like 6 points a night on pretty ugly efficiency while only playing like 7 minutes less, there's clearly a lack of rhythm I'm hoping he can find again, because I really like McCain as a bench guard. His torn meniscus that ended his Rookie of the Year campaign was the first major injury of his career, I believe, so I'm sure he's still coming back from that in many ways. Back over to my nice list, the next name is Keontae George, another young guard. He's a 16th overall pick in year 3, which makes me hesitant to say this, but he's got to be one of the favorites for most improved player. He's completely leveled up as an offensive player, trimming out the bad, tough shots he was taking a lot of to begin his career, and really focusing on getting to the rim or looks from 3. He's also definitely taken a leap as a passer and playmaker, more frequently getting the ball to an open teammate instead of forcing a shot. Overall, there's just a lot more patience and maturity in his game, and it's got to have the Jazz feeling a lot better about their rebuild. For the last name on my naughty list, I told you folks we're going to keep this one short, just having a little fun, and remember, Santa is making me do this. But Kawhi Leonard's on the naughty list. And he's on the naughty list not because of availability or anything like that, but when you consider the situation the Clippers are in and the stink surrounding the team, the fact that there's this one guy who defines this era of Clippers basketball, someone who isn't reliable as a superstar, isn't a public or vocal leader, and whose contract limits the remaining roster's flexibility because of how much he gets paid, so much so that he has to get paid under the table, allegedly, and that could result in the team losing assets as punishment, and they're already about to fork over a first rounder to the reigning champs, and don't own most of their picks right now, so they're just spiraling even further. Again, a lot of this doesn't even have to do with Kawhi Leonard, or the blame should fall on someone much higher up who actually makes the decisions, but he does represent this era of always being good enough to get fans' hopes high and then always disappointing for one reason or another. It honestly seems like a bit of torture to be a Clippers fan, every year with the expectations just to be let down again, not owning your own picks into the future, and Kawhi Leonard, the man who came to LA and started this whole saga, is just kind of there, quiet as ever. It feels a bit like Kawhi is karmically on basketball's naughty list. And for the final name on my nice list, it's Jamal Murray. Jokic is likely about to get his first All-Star teammate this season, and it's because Murray is playing the best regular season basketball of his career. I don't think Jamal got better or is even playing his best every single game, but it does feel like he came into this season a lot more prepared than he usually does. Typically, Jamal Murray is a very underwhelming regular season player. He doesn't assert himself that much and tends to play himself into shape over the course of the season, but he showed up ready to go this time, averaging a career high in points on career best efficiency without turning the ball over more, and the two-man game between him and Jokic is looking to be in prime form. This is so important for the Denver Nuggets, who I think are probably the only team with a real chance of beating OKC 4 times in 7 games, but that conversation doesn't even start unless they get the best version of Jamal Murray. So shout out to him, shout out to the Nuggets. They look really good, and almost most important, I think they know they have to be on their P's and Q's if they want to have a shot at making it out of the West and winning a title. So I expect the best version of them when time comes, and that could be really, really exciting. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I could have made both lists much longer, especially the nice list, because there is no shortage of players worth praising. But I wanted to keep this one relatively quick, just talk about a handful of players I haven't so far this season, and do something a bit more laid back. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Let me know who would make your NBA naughty or nice list. Other than that, check me out on Twitter and Medium, TikTok too. That's all for now. Stay safe and see you in the next one.
Many times, many ways, Merry Christmas.